Hey folks, Anthony Skinner here with the new series, Enneagram and Team Building. Now this topic is more important than ever really because so many of us are working remotely from home, which adds that layer of complexity to teamwork. But before we go any further, I want to introduce the host of the Typology podcast and of this series, Ian Morgan Cron. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Great to be here.
Hey man, I know that during this season that you have had all of your adult children, 3 dogs, 1 dog on the way, all living at home. How's it going?
You know, all in all, it's going great. In terms of my children, my 2 daughters, doing fantastic. My 22-year-old son, Aiden, however, I think is getting ready to eat the house down to the studs.
Oh, that's great. Well, so we are in this series, the Enneagram and Team Building. And before we go any further, why don't you give the folks listening, folks watching, a good definition of the word team?
Sure. So I think a team is a group of people with complementary skills who are committed to a common purpose for which they hold themselves accountable. Now that's a concise definition I picked up somewhere else, right? And when I heard it, I thought, yeah, pretty good, but I want to add something, and it's this. A team is a group of people with complementary skills and diverse personalities who are committed to a common purpose for which they hold themselves accountable. You know, I once heard a psychology professor give a lecture in which he said this: every team in the workplace has problems, and most of those problems are personality problems.
I've lived that one firsthand.
Me too, my brother. And in my experience as a corporate consultant, right? In my experience, the knowledge and application of the Enneagram can dramatically lessen and sometimes eliminate personality problems in the workplace.
All right, great. So you're doing all this consulting. What happens when leaders and teams introduce and integrate the Enneagram on their teams?
Well, I mean, the list is long, but here's a sample, right?
Okay.
It increases motivation. It reduces conflict. It improves communication. It prevents misunderstandings. It elevates empathy. And it ensures that people feel heard, seen, and valued for the unique contribution they bring to the team.
Such a powerful tool. So in this series, we're going to answer the question, what do I need to know and what do I need to do in order to effectively lead and work alongside each of the 9 Enneagram types to build stronger teams? And today we are talking about the Enneagram
7.
The enthusiast.
The enthusiast. Let me start by saying this. Every type has an unconscious motivation that powerfully influences how that type typically, habitually, predictably acts, thinks, and feels on a daily basis. So it's vital for team members to know the unconscious motivation of their colleagues, or they won't understand their behavior patterns, right?
Right. So what about the 7's unconscious motivation? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So 7s are motivated by a need to avoid uncomfortable feelings and psychological distress. So in order to circumvent pain, they constantly think about and plan for a future full of unlimited possibilities with fun and pleasurable experiences, adventures, and unlimited joy.
So what can 7s and leaders and team members do to help optimize the enthusiast performance?
Yeah. All right. So let's start with what happens on teams when 7s lack self-awareness. Okay. So an unskillful 7 would rather eat glass than suffer boredom or the drudgery of routine. They're also easily distracted, and they have trouble completing projects. So you need to make sure they finish what they start, or the unfinished work will fall on another team member's shoulders, and
Right.
that will lead to all kinds of problems.
Okay, so that's unhealthy. What happens when you have a healthy 7 who is self-aware?
Yeah. Well, they're the first person you want to see when you arrive at the office. Like, these folks are natural team builders. They're dreamers. They're initiators who are great at starting projects and then motivating other team members with all that enthusiasm that's contagious that they have. So they just inspire people to jump on board.
Great. Okay, so let's help the 7s become great leaders and team members with some tips as we've been doing in the past. You want to give us a tip?
I got 3 of them.
All right, come on with them.
Number 1, explore their vision. 7s are really visionaries. So you need to, if you're on a team with them, you need to take advantage of their ability to synthesize information, spot unseen patterns, and connect the dots inside of complex bodies of knowledge. They're amazing at that.
Okay, tip number 2.
Provide independence. Give talented 7s a long leash, multifaceted job descriptions, and an encouragement to stay on track, right? 7s work best when they have the freedom to work the way that they want to.
All right, cool. Tip number 3.
Give them short-term projects, right? 7s are rock stars when it comes to working on short-term projects or getting startup companies getting them off the ground. They're really extraordinary that way.
Okay, so allow them to explore their vision, provide them with independence, and give them short-term projects. Do you have a closing thought for us to go out on?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of a story. The other day, Aiden, who is a 7, the Enneagram, my son, we were in the car. It's like 5 o'clock. We're just stuck in traffic. And he turns to me and he says, "Dad, why do they call it rush hour if nobody's moving?" And I thought to myself, that only a 7 comes up with stuff like that, you know?
Right, yeah.
They're so charming and quick-witted. And to have them on your team when they're self-aware is a great, great thing.
Yes, agreed. Well, we love you 7s, and thank you all for tuning in to this new series, Enneagram and Team Building. And until next time, see you later.
See you later.